This is the all-new 2024 Buick Envista in the range topping Avenir trim level, and I'd like to give you a walk around of this vehicle right now.
Motronics.
Starting with the front end. So the front end here exemplifies Buick's new design language, and if you look from the side, the first thing you'll notice is this nose down aesthetic, which was previewed by the Buick Wildcat EV concept that debuted a couple of years ago. This is a very attractive nose in my opinion, especially with this nose down aesthetic. Over here you have a two-tier lighting configuration. Two-tier because there is a headlight here and another one here. This is actually not the headlight, this is actually the daytime running lamp, while this is the actual headlight that actually provides the forward illumination. Down here, the Avenir specific grille. You can see that it has these little accents here, and the entire grille has this dark chrome kind of finish. This being an Avenir does have a lot of chrome on it, including this piece here and then a few other pieces that you will see as we go around to the side. Over here you have the new Buick badge. This is still the tri-shield, but as you can see, it is no longer encapsulated by a circle. Instead, it is proudly displayed, and it's actually very large and very attractive as well. Another departure from tradition is that this logo is no longer displayed on the grille, because the grille is actually now here, whereas the logo is now sitting higher on the front fascia. The hood has some interesting surface development that you can kind of see here. It has a nice line here. This part is kind of bulged outward. The same thing happens over here, while the center has this center line running the length of the entire hood. And there's also this gray piece here, which we will see is also complemented by a light trim piece at the rear, which we'll get to in a few minutes. Let's take a look at the side, and it is here that you will really notice what the Envista is all about. And what it's all about is essentially, well, this is a crossover coupe. It's not a traditional crossover. There goes a traditional crossover right over there. But this has an entirely different aesthetic to it. One that is essentially, well, like I said, it's coupe-like. The roof begins to slope very rapidly, right after the B-pillar right there. And it just slopes and slopes and slopes into this kind of fastback coupe-like form right here. Let's take a closer look at the side here. You'll notice that this piece here, along with the wheel well opening trim, it is body colored. That is a departure from norm compared to other Envista trim levels like the ST and Preferred, which have this piece as well as that piece in the front and this entire piece that runs the length of the wheelbase, as well as another piece at the rear that I'll show you in a second. Those trim levels, Preferred and ST, have this trim in black. This vehicle has it in body color. Also body color are the mirror caps. There's an integrated turn signal here, and then the chrome that we saw here at the front. It continues here, essentially along the entire DLO treatment here before running into this section right there. The bottom piece of the DLO is black, so it's not the entire DLO that's black. The B-pillar treatment, as well as this piece here, it is gloss black. And then you do have an interesting pattern here. I don't know if you can see it, but this isn't a flat black. There's actually a wavy pattern here to this as well. There's an Avenir badge right here at the bottom end of the front doors. Keyless entry system, body color door handles. The keyless entry system, by the way, it is not present on the rear door handles. It's only present on the front doors. As with the front, the rear wheel well openings here are also body color. Here is the fuel filler door, capless fuel fill there, and that brings us to the rear end. Take a look at the rear end here. Really the pièce de résistance of the Envista. It's this coupe-like shape that I explained earlier. So at the top of the sloping roof here, you have the comms fin, which handles the satellite radio communications as well as the 4G LTE communications. You have the center high-mounted stop lamp right here, very neatly integrated into the top part of the rear hatch here. A very large rear window. And as you can see, there's no wiper. There's not a wiper at the top, there's not a wiper at the bottom. Buick tells me that a rear wiper is not needed. take a look at the surface development here. You do have some surface development that you can see from the side. This line here, it essentially flows all the way to the roughly the front of the front door. There is some more surface development at the bottom there, but this piece then turns into this kind of nice wide hip, which looks very nice. The tail lamp, so just like at the front, the Envista has a 2-tier tail lamp setup, with the running lights being located at the top and the actual brake lights located right here at the bottom. This here is a reflector. This here is also a reflector. Here you have the reverse lamp, but you can see the very nice shape of this upper running tail lamp. It's designed very well, in my opinion, and it's very attractive. And if you look closely, this rear hatch, it actually has a built-in lip spoiler right there. It kind of lifts, whoop, right up right there. At the rear, you have a few elements, including the Envista nameplate right there. You have the Avenir trim level indicator right there. And then, again, just like at the front, you have the new Buick logo. But unlike at the front, at the rear, you have Buick spelled out very proudly to complement the badge. The chrome that I mentioned that starts at the front and runs the top part of the DLO, it's also present and accounted for in this trim piece right there as well. And then this gray element, it is also present and accounted for just like at the front end. There are some parking sensors here, right here and there, and traditionally there would be 2 more parking sensors, maybe one over here and another there, but the Envista only has the one central one. So what Buick has really done is they've combined 2 parking sensors, which would typically be here, into one, and it's got some design flair to it over here as well. As you can tell, there is no visible exhaust. The exhaust is tucked under. The wheels are 19-inch multi-spoke wheels. They look very nice in my opinion, and since these are 19s, they automatically add the Watts Link rear suspension to the vehicle. Overall, the Buick Envista is a very, very attractive vehicle. Just the fact alone that it has this coupe-like profile, which traditionally has been something that's been reserved for high-end luxury models from Europe, like the BMW X4 and the X6, like the Mercedes-Benz GLC class coupe and the GLE class coupe, and like the Audi Q8, for instance, and the Q5 Sportback. These are the models that have typically had the crossover coupe aesthetic, and they've obviously cost a pretty penny. But now, $25,000, not for the Avenir. The Avenir is more expensive than that. But now the Buick Envista comes to the party, and it really democratizes this coupe-like crossover aesthetic overall. For GMAuthority.com and the Metrolix Network, I'm Alex Luft. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Motrolix.